From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang, and here are the news. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday signed into law the country's 5.768 trillion peso national budget, or the General Appropriations Act, or GAA, for fiscal year 2024 in Malacañang Palace. In his speech after the signing, the president said the GAA is merely a spreadsheet. It is the government's plan to protect the country, keep its citizens healthy, and create jobs and livelihood for all Filipinos. President Marcos Jr. assured the public that the national budget was meticulously crafted to sustain the Philippines' high growth trajectory. The chief executive urged all government agencies to optimize allocated resources to ensure the welfare, progress, and prosperity of every Filipino, reiterating an important budget commandment that all officials must obey. The 2024 GAA is anchored in the framework provided by the Fiscal Year 2024 National Expenditure Program, or NEP, geared towards achieving the country's economic goals, specifically identified in the administration's Medium-Term Fiscal Framework, or MTFF, the 8-point Socio-Economic Agenda, and the Philippine Development Plan, or PDP, 2023 to 2028. Now, let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Today we sign the national budget, the instrument which tells how the taxes paid by the people will be returned to them. In effect, we are signing the renewal of our annual social contract with taxpayers, that what they have paid faithfully will be rebated to them in full. Although it is teeming with numbers, this budget is more than a spreadsheet of amounts or a ledger of projects. Rather, it details our battle plan in fighting poverty and combating illiteracy, in producing food and ending hunger, in protecting our homes and securing our border, treating the sick, keeping our people healthy, creating jobs, and funding livelihoods. It is wrong to say that the budget merely pays for the overhead of the bureaucracy. It is more than that. It funds the elimination of problems that we as a nation must overcome. It is incorrect to say that the budget merely finances the operations of government, because its fine print bankrolls the realization of our dreams writ large. In the end, every line in this budget, when translated to projects, from roads to schools to hospitals, will transform our country for the better and the lives of our people for the better. In this budget, we have included what we consider to be the means that will boost both the physical and human capital of a nation, blessed with talent, waiting to be tapped, with resources ready to be harnessed. But I would be the first to dispel any claim that this budget fully funds all our plans for our country and our people. How I wish that we could wipe out with one budget cycle all our infrastructure backlogs. How I wish that we had only revenues to realize our country's unlimited potential. Suddenly, the will is there, the wherewithal, perhaps not always so. Like any government, we are curtailed by what we can collect, by what our tax coffers contain. We can be reckless, take the easy path, borrow, let our children pick today's tab up tomorrow. But debt is not the kind of inheritance that we want to leave those who will come after us. Good fiscal stewardship imposes upon us the discipline not to be led into the temptation of bloating what we owe. Good government dictates upon us the duty to spend the appropriations we have cobbled together for the correct purposes, the right way, on time, and on budget. I say this to remind those who will execute this budget that red tape that leads to underspending and overspending that disregards legal guardrails are two sides of the same coin. Implementation delay and illegal deviations inflict the same havoc of denying the people of the progress and development that they deserve. So with this reminder comes the most important budget commandment that we must always heed. We are working for the people, not for ourselves. We are working for the country, not for ourselves. Honor the taxpayers who make the budget possible. And in doing so, we will bring closer to the brighter tomorrow that we aspire for bagong Pilipinas that we all envision for our people. Let us all work in solidarity for a more empowered Philippines. I congratulate you all for the very hard work that I know you have put in to put this budget together. Mabuhay kayong lahat. Maraming salamat po.
And you just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news stories, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday paid tribute to the sacrifices and contributions of overseas Filipino workers or OFWs during a gathering with their families in Pasay City. In his message at the 2023 OFW Family Day, the President said that not only the OFWs help the country's economy, but they also help the local workforce as they bring home with them the knowledge and skills they have attained while working abroad. President Marcos Jr. reassured the OFWs and their families that his administration is prioritizing their welfare and interest. The chief executive mentioned a few initiatives implemented by the government in advancing OFWs' rights overseas and protecting them from the threats of exploitation, such as the One Repatriation Command Center that operates 24/7 and facilitates the rescue, repatriation, counseling, legal assistance, and reintegration services for distressed OFWs, provision of services and programs for OFWs who chose to go home and stay in the country, and other support mechanism for their families and loved ones, such as the OFW Children's Circle, educational assistance, and the OFW Hospital in Pampanga, among many others. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Binabati ko ang lahat ng mga OFW at ang inyong mga pamilya na sila ring nagsasakripisyo habang kayo ay kumakayod at nakikipagsapalaran sa ibang bansa. Ang mga pamilya po ninyo ay siyempre may sakripisyo rin sila. Kaya kasama sila sa pagtulong ng ating mga OFW sa Pilipinas. Kaya't napakaganda na kayo'y kasama sa pagdiriwang ng ating OFW Family Day. Masaya ako na magkasama tayo sa araw na ito upang magsaya at makapaglibang, lalo na at 5 araw na lang ay Pasko na. Tunay talaga at napakalaki ng kontribusyon ng ating mga OFW sa ating lipunan, sa ating lahat dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi lamang po remittance ang ating pinag-uusapan at ang pagtulong sa ating ekonomiya. Baon din nila sa kanilang pag-uwi ang mga bagong kasanayan at kaalaman na ibinabahagi sa ating lakas paggawa. Kaya naman po, inaalay namin ang araw na ito bilang parangal at pagpapasalamat sa inyong paghihirap, pagsisipag at inyong sakripisyo. Nais din po naming higit na pagtibayin ang pagmamahalan ng inyong pamilya, lalo na at madalas ninyo silang hindi makapiling sa mahabang panahon. Nawat mas maging matatag ang samahan ninyo ng mga anak at makapiling din ninyo ang isa't isa sa pamamagitan ng okasyon na ito. Nais ko ring ipabatid sa inyo na hindi tumitigil ang pamahalaan sa pagkilos upang maipabuti ang inyong kalagayan. Una, nagtatagpo tayo ng One Repatriation Command Center na may nakalaang hotline para sa mga OFW maghihingi na kung kailangan humingi ng tulong. Ang hotline 1348 ay bukas, laging bukas at hindi nagsasara. Kahit gabi, 24 hours a day, pitong araw sa isang linggo, 24/7, ito ay nandyan para sa inyo upang makapagbigay ng rescue, repatriation, counseling, legal assistance na sino mang OFW na mangangailangan nito. Pangalawa, patuloy din tayong nagbibigay ng mga serbisyo at programa para sa reintegration ng mga OFW na nagnanais ng umuwi at manatili sa Pilipinas. Ilan sa mga programang ito ay ang Livelihood Development Assistance Program, ang Pinay Balik Hanap Buhay, ang Financial Awareness Seminar, Small Business Management Training, and Enterprise Development Loan Program. Ito po ay pinagsama-sama, nandyan din ang tulong pangkabuhayan sa pag-unlad ng samahang OFW. Ito po ay ginagawa po natin upang dahil nagbabago na po ang mundo. Kaya kailangan para kung kayo ba ay may iwan dito pag nakauwi, kung kayo ba ay may iwan dito sa Pilipinas o nais din yung bumalik pa ulit sa inyong trabaho, ay kailangan makapag-training ng mabuti para tayo handa at makipagsapalaran na nga at kaya natin ang mga bagong mga teknolohiya, ang mga bagong pamamaraan. Kaya't nandyan po ang lahat ng assistance para mabigyan naman natin ang ating mga OFW ng isang magandang pagkakataon upang sila'y makapagsimula muli pagkatapos ng pandemya. Marami din tayong binibigay na suporta sa inyong mga kaanak tulad ng OFW Children's Circle, ang OWA Education and Training Program, and Educational Assistance. Maliban dyan, nagtatag din tayo ng OFW Hospital sa San Fernando, Pampanga upang tugunan ang mga pangangailangang medikal ng ating OFW at kanilang mga mahal sa buhay. Marami pang proyekto ang nakapila at kahit ang mga kasalukuyang programa ay pagagandahin pa natin. Umaasa po akong susulitin ninyo at gagamitin ng wasto ang mga benepisyong ito. Kasabay ng pagkayod ninyo sa ibayong dagat para sa mas magandang buhay ng inyong pamilya, ay ang aming pagsisikap na magpaunlad palalo sa ating bansa upang sa inyong pagbabalik ay makita naman ninyo ang malaking pagbabago dito sa Pilipinas. Layunin natin na ang pangingibang bansa ay hindi lamang dala ng pangangailangan upang maiahon ang pamilya sa kahirapan. Sa bagong Pilipinas, nais natin itong maging isang alternatibo na lamang dahil mas marami ang pagkakataon sa loob ng bansa. Kaya hiling ko na magkaisa tayo na pangangarap at pagpapanday ng isang bansang matatag, maunlad at puno ng oportunidad para sa bawat Pilipino. Para makamit natin ito, hinihikayat ko ang lahat na yakapin ang pagiging isang makabagong Pilipino. Sa ating mga OFW, na araw-aray ay nagpapamalas ng sipag, husay at katatagan sa inyong mga propesyon at siyang maipagmamalaki natin sa buong mundo. Kayo ang tunay na halimbawa ng makabagong manggagawang Pilipino. Sa inyong patuloy na pakikiisa, buo ang tiwala ko ngayong maitataguyod natin ang isang bagong Pilipinas para sa mga Pilipino, ngayon at sa mga susunod pang henerasyon. Muli, binabati ko ang ating mga magigiting na OFW sa inyong mga mahal sa buhay. Maraming salamat at mabuhay kayong lahat.
And you just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday administered the oath of office of the 4 new directors of the Maharlika Investment Corporation or MIC in a ceremony at the Malacañang Palace in Manila. The Presidential Communications Office or PCO said the 4 new MIC directors are Vicky Castillo Tan, Andrew Jerome Gan, Herman Chauco II, and Roman Felipe Reyes. Prior to her appointment to the MIC, Tan served as Steel Asia Manufacturing Incorporated's Deputy President and Maybank Incorporated's Independent Board of Director and Chairperson of its Corporate Governance Committee. She also worked as an officer of Asian Development Bank or ADB from September 2002 to January 2021, working in various capacities such as Senior Financial Analyst, Credit Review Officer, Structured Financial Officer, Financial Management Specialist, Senior Advisor to the Vice President, Regional Cooperation and Operations Coordination Division Director, and Budget and Management Services Division Director. Gan, on the other hand, became Singapore advisor for Bank Pictet and C, Managing Director of Global Land Development Corporation, Fifi Leamor Incorporated and Beacon Holdings Incorporated, and Director, Treasurer, and Director of Communications of Nuovo Moda Incorporated. He studied finance and business economics at the University of Notre Dame in Indiana, USA, and graduated in 1985 and attained his master's in public policy and management at the School of Oriental and Asian Studies. Meanwhile, Li Chauco worked as director and corporate secretary of Heroes Electronic Materials Philippines Incorporated, Casa Cebuana Incorporated, Cebu Figueroa Estate Corporation, and Coco Properties Incorporated. He likewise served as compliance officer with a rank of vice president and corporate secretary of Medical Doctors Incorporated, the company which controls and manages the Makati Medical Center Hospital. Li Chauco graduated from De La Salle University in Manila in 1985 and earned his Juris Doctor degree from Ateneo de Manila University in 1992. And lastly, Reyes is the chairperson and founding partner of Reyes Takandong and Company from May 2010 up to date. He also occupied the director post at the Radio Philippines Network Incorporated or RPN9, Pampanga Sugar Development Company or PASUDECO, the All-Asian Counter Trade, Philippine Geothermal Production Company, and Converge ICT Solutions Incorporated. Reyes was a graduate of San Beda College, completing his Bachelor of Science in Commerce in 1972. He took his Master of Business Administration Finance degree at the University of Detroit, Michigan, and graduated in 1975. During or just last month, President Marcos appointed Rafael D. Consing Jr. as President and Chief Executive Officer or CEO of the MIC. The MIC, created by virtue of Republic Act or RA 11954, serves as the primary vehicle for mobilizing and utilizing the Maharlika Investment Fund for investments in transactions aimed at generating optimal returns on investments.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news stories, the Philippine Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE on Wednesday said it is ready to assist jeepney drivers affected by the government's Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program or PUVMP. Labor Undersecretary Benjo Benavides said the Department of Transportation or DOTR has allocated 450 million pesos for the assistance. The labor official said that the deadline for the consolidation will not be extended. However, the government has a standby fund in the likelihood that those who need assistance will come to them. At the same time, the DOLE official invited those who will be affected to seek the assistance of different government agencies such as DOTR, the Office of Transportation Cooperatives and Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB. The DOLE Undersecretary explained that the PUVMP has been there for a long time and government agencies have prepared for it. Benavides said forms of assistance that would be given to them include livelihood aid and skills training from the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA to help find new jobs. Last week, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. said there is no extension of the December 31 deadline for the consolidation of PUV operators. Launched under the Duterte administration in 2017, the PUVMP aims to align the country's public transport with global standards.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, the Japan Embassy on Wednesday turned over a Japanese-built air surveillance radar system to the Philippine Air Force or PAF during a ceremony at the Walas Air Station in San Fernando City, La Union Province. Among the attendees were Department of National Defense or DND Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr., Commanding General of the Philippine Air Force Lieutenant General Stephen Parreño, Embassy of Japan in the Philippines Chargé d'Affaires or CDA ad interim Matsuda Kenichi, and Assistant Commissioner of Acquisition Technology and Logistics Agency or ATLA, Japan Ministry of Defense Nishiwaki Osamu. The delivery of the air surveillance radar system is based on the contract signed between the DND and Japanese manufacturer Mitsubishi Electric Corporation in August of the year 2020. The radar system aims to enhance the armed forces of the Philippines or AFP's air surveillance capabilities as part of the AFP's modernization program. The first unit of the air surveillance radar system was delivered in October 2023. 3 more units are expected to be delivered to the Philippines in the coming years. The transfer is an affirmation of Japan's commitment to the Philippines as its strategic partner and to contributing peace and stability in the region.
Dateline Malacañang.
German Embassy in Manila expects an increase in interest among Filipinos to work in their country with the new labor law that makes it easier for foreigners with vocational training to migrate. In a statement on Wednesday, the embassy said Germany had begun the phased implementation of the German Skilled Migration Act last November. The act will introduce new channels for skilled workers from countries outside the European Union or EU, including the Philippines, to immigrate to Germany. Since last month, immigration opportunities have been broadened for workers with higher education qualifications through the EU Blue Card, featuring lowered salary thresholds, expanded eligibility, an extended list of professions, and facilitated family reunification. Information technology or IT specialists, the embassy said, can secure an EU Blue Card based on professional experience alone without a formal qualification. The embassy said the law also ensures that skilled workers with professional or academic training are entitled to a residence permit provided all requirements are met. Those with completed professional qualifications or higher education can engage in any qualified employment within the non-regulated sector, and the connection between training and employment is no longer mandatory. The embassy said administrative procedures such as online applications are available, but reminded Filipinos aspiring to practice regulated professions in Germany that they must still undergo the recognition process. The German embassy said it continues to work closely with the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA, Commission on Higher Education or CHED, and the Department of Migrant Workers or DMW to find ways to ensure that immigration is fair and sustainable with a high standard of protection and equality for Filipinos starting to work in Germany.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine House Speaker Martin Romualdez on Wednesday announced that the funding for the new 60 billion peso ayuda sa Kaposang Kita or AKA program will continue in 2025. The House Speaker made the statement as he welcomed the signing by Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. of the 5.768 trillion peso national budget for 2024. Romualdez claimed that Congress introduced AKAP, which aims to extend cash assistance to poor and low-income families in the 2024 budget for the first time under the Marcos administration. Each household with a monthly income of 23,000 pesos or less would receive a 5,000 peso one-time cash assistance. The initial target for the 60 billion peso program is 12 million families. Speaker Romualdez said beneficiaries qualified under government criteria will receive the assistance on time, and safeguards have been placed to secure the transactions. Romualdez meanwhile urged national agencies and local government units to prepare for the implementation of the 2024 National Spending Program, saying that they should hit the ground running in carrying out the budget at the start of the new year.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, we would like to invite everyone to come and visit our Facebook page at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.